Coming up, the wife of a former Dragons player faces court accused of fraud. A major hazard reduction burn at Helensburgh, and can Nara dog Banjo Tifia take out the golden Easter egg?
Across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands, this is Win News.
Tonight, Jack de Bellin's immediate playing future still up in the air despite two court listings today. Labor promises an upgrade of Appin Road if it wins the federal election. And a major hazard reduction burn underway near Helensburgh. Good evening, I'm Geoff Phillips. Also coming up tonight, safety on beaches and waterways in the spotlight following an expected warmer than usual Easter break. It's been a big day in court for Jack de Bellin. In Wollongong local court, the footballer's aggravated sexual assault charge was mentioned. Meanwhile in Sydney, the Dragons player continued his fight for his right to play.
As co-accused Callan Sinclair plays on, Jack de Bellin battles to get back on the field, attending the federal court for day 3 of a hearing into the NRL's controversial no-fault stand-down policy. Samara Gardner, Win News.
Belinda Simmons, the wife of former St George Illawarra player Reece Simmons, faced Port Kembla Court today, charged with a string of fraud offences. She's charged with allegedly taking more than $330,000 from her employer, Shellharbour Kaima Family Daycare, between 2013 and 2018. She's previously pleaded not guilty to all 35 charges. The matter was adjourned today. Mrs Simmons will reappear on the 8th of May. A koala bridge over Appin Road will form part of a $50 million promised upgrade of the deadly stretch linking Wollongong and Campbelltown if Labor wins the federal election. Labor is also calling on the Liberals to match the pledge as the coalition continues its focus further south.
On the highway to the capital, a pile-up of political promises. Jared Constable, Win News.
Illawarra residents can expect significant smoke in the sky in coming days as firefighters undertake hazard reduction burns near Helensburgh. There have been a number of burns throughout the region in the past week, with authorities using the benign conditions to reduce the fuel load and the potential threat to properties.
An interagency burn in 140 hectares of bushland near Helensburgh.
Most of this bushland hasn't burnt since 2001. Authorities say there's a lot of fuel here and hazard reduction burns like this are very important.
The burn is expected to take 3 days. Smoke will be in the air. The community's been urged to take caution. Jordan Matthews, Win News.
In what's believed to be one of the biggest orders of its type in New South Wales, the federal court has frozen assets to the value of $450,000 of Wollongong and Nara Indian restaurants Aditya Kerala. The action has been taken pending a hearing into the alleged underpayment of a chef by $230,000 over a 2-year period. Lawyers for the chefs say with penalties, the company behind the restaurants could be up for a total, including penalties, of $500,000. In addition, a second chef has come forward claiming underpayment. The matter will return to court on May the 1st. A world-leading molecular science building at the University of Wollongong is one step closer to completion, today celebrating the topping out. The Molecular Horizons Centre will house some of the most powerful microscopes in the world to help find answers to issues such as cancer, motor neurone disease and climate change.
The last concrete slab has been poured for one of the most unique science hubs in the world.
And we'll be having some of the most highly powered microscopes, electron microscopes as they're called, in the world. And the building needs to be specially designed to make sure that these microscopes, with all their sensitivity,
When Win News continues, with great weather expected over the Easter weekend, a warning to take care on the roads and waterways. And those amazing clothes from the movie The Dressmaker. Warmer than average temperatures and strong coastal rips have emergency services bracing for a difficult Easter period. Police and surf lifesavers are pleading with the public now to be safe while celebrating this Easter.
Clear skies and warm temps will be hard to resist this long weekend, but potentially dangerous surf conditions have emergency services worried.
We've just come out of the spring tide cycle, so the tides are high, and what we know is at this time of the tidal cycle we get some quite strong rips.
Hollywood high fashion has a new home at the National Film and Sound Archive. Every thread, bead and detail of the extravagant 50s couture that featured in the Australian film classic The Dressmaker is now on show for everyone to see.
That striking red dress is like a bolt from the blue for the fictitious town of Dungatar.
The greatest classical compositions of the 18th century are being brought to life these school holidays at Wollongong's Art Precinct. Wolfgang's Magical Musical Circus is an hour-long extravaganza of live music, comedy and circus tricks. Described as magical musical mayhem, the show brings classical composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart to life. The family-friendly show is an opportunity for children to see the fusion of classical music and circus.
It's really fantastic for children, so they get to spend their time listening to classical music, not necessarily realising it, but having this amazing adventure along the way.
The spectacular runs once a day inside the Spiegel tent. Midweek Sport is next, and now a greyhound off to the Golden Easter Egg final. Also, AFLW star Maddie Collier on the move from GWS, and Dragons forward Blake Laurie opens up on replacing Jack de Belin.
This report brought to you by Nikolovsky Lawyers. With you all the way.
Jack de Belin's replacement in the Dragons' number 13 jersey, Blake Laurie, says he's starting to feel at home in the starting side. While Adapto Canaris Jr. admits he's still got plenty to learn, teammates say the man they call Blocker has the potential to be the next big thing in the NRL.
Blake Laurie had one simple goal going into pre-season: shed the kilos.
Mate, the diet's changed the last sort of 3 weeks. There's no chocolate, no nothing, no ice cream after dinner, so I've completely rabbit food diet, I call it.
Another interesting subplot in the Coaldale Waves Fairy Tale FFA Cup run, with the Illawarra Community League battlers drawing the NPL ladder-leading Wollongong Wolves in the 5th round. An all-Illawarra Premier League clash potentially awaits, with Tarrawanna facing the winner of Wollongong Olympics clash with Dulwich Hill, while Bulli, Woonona, Wollongong United and Coniston have drawn NPL opponents in their respective 5th round ties. Nowra's Maddie Collier will be part of the West Coast Eagles' inaugural AFLW campaign, having signed a 2-year deal with the club. The midfielder has spent the past 3 seasons with GWS playing 15 games. Eagles head of female football, Adam Selwood, describes Maddie as a hard-nosed player who trains extremely hard and looks to get the best out of herself each session. That is Wednesday Sport. Hayley Francis is along with the weather and what's in store for tomorrow.
Good evening, Geoff. Well, we can expect the mercury to jump up a few degrees, with conditions remaining very pleasant for most places. All the details are coming up. Welcome back. Well, daytime temperatures stretched above the April average in most locations today. Tonight's weather picture is thanks to Melissa, who captured the most autumn-inspired photo imaginable, here with the changing colours of these leaves. Remember, you can send your pictures to weather@wintv.com.au. Let's look at the details from today. A little drizzle in parts of the region overnight. Kiama topped out at 24 degrees by the end of lunchtime, now at 13, stretching to 25. Bateman's Bay started on single digits with a low of 9 at sunrise, but then zipped to a high of 24 by 11 this morning. Bega soaked up the sun rays all day, topping out at 25 by the end of lunchtime. On the satellite, a strong high pressure system near New Zealand is maintaining a ridge towards New South Wales today. On the synoptic, a cold front currently south of the Bight will skim across southeast Australia tomorrow, with an associated trough bringing a cooler change to the state's south. Now, on the borders tomorrow, mostly sunny, but there's the chance of a storm later on in the north. There's a strong wind warning in place for Bateman's Bay and Eden coasts. Now to the forecast for the Illawarra and Southern Highlands. Mostly sunny with patchy fog to start about the Highlands. There's the slight chance of a shower in the south late in the day. Kiama can expect a high of 25 degrees, 23 at Ulladulla, Narooma 24 and Bega expected to reach 22 degrees. For Wollongong tomorrow, sunshine ahead, a top of 25 degrees, a low of 16, and the sun setting at 5:30. Now, in the days ahead, Friday will be partly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower. Saturday is looking much the same, and Sunday will be mostly sunny. So a little more of that autumn sun to come. Geoff?
Hayley, thank you. That is Win News. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.